Okay, hello everybody. How's your day going? Today's date is September 30th, 2019, and my name is Elsie Williams. Now, this is not going to be a very long video. Alright, hold on a second. I just realized I shut my glasses up in my bandana when I put it on. I didn't even realize it. Alright, hold on a minute. Okay, now this isn't going to be a very long video because I've been sick since last night. Now, in fact, I really even shouldn't have started this video because I'm going to be eating very soon here and I need to lay down. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a sensitization video. It's going to be a video series, videos that are going to be made in order to, first initially expose, the relevance of what sensitization is connected to gang stalking crimes. So that once the series is concluded, you'll be able to see how each video converges into the synthesized, holistic picture of this crime pertaining to what sensitization is about. Now, so what I decided to do in this video, now I haven't forgot about the other series videos that I've started and haven't completed yet, like the Connecting Michigan's Gang Stalking to San Diego. So if you're a regular follower, just be patient. And you better start going into my Periscope. It appears that Periscope only allows you to see the most, the last 100 recent videos dedicated to a person's account, and I've already reached 125 videos. So every time I make a video, one of those initial videos are being dropped off. Before I started making this video, I went into the profile of my account. I'm able to see all of my videos, okay? But once I reach the 100 mark, and then I go to make a 101st video, the first video will drop off of the available videos that are allowed for followers to watch. Even though Periscope accounts do allow you to make 500 videos, it appears, at least from what I'm able to determine at this time, it appears that followers are only able to see the most recent 100. So if that's the case, when a person you're following makes a 101st video, that very first video will drop off that profile, okay, broadcasts that are available for you to see. Now, so what I did was I went and I took since this is the 125th or 6th video, I went and took a video, its link, and I copied it to the profile, to an email file. And the reason why I did that was because I want to make sure if any videos, well, I guess I could always do it at a later date as well, but it just happened to be a video that was dedicated to catching and exposing in real time, live, ultrasonic sound bone conduction technology transmission sounds being caught in a live broadcast. Now, I'm kind of still figuring this out as I go, even figuring some stuff out as I'm talking. So, I guess I could harvest those on any date, but it's a good thing for you to be able to harvest them is what I meant to say. So I strongly suggest that if you're a regular follower, from this second forward, go into the 100 recent videos that you're able to view when you click on my account, and go down and scroll down to the very bottom and copy and paste 20-30 videos from the bottom up. Okay, because sometimes the gang stalking of me is getting back to the point to where, like at Starbucks when I was there yesterday, the last 3 visits I've been at Starbucks. Oh my gosh! In fact, let me share something with you. When you go to Google all my statements to gang stalking. Okay, hold on 1 second though. Let me get my because I'm a little bit, my neck's a little cold right now because I put this white bandana on. Hold on a second. Okay. Now, I want you to listen to me. The following statement is not being stated because I believe it, wonder it, or even suspect it, but it is something that's being thrown out there for you to contemplate and take that contemplation, which you'll be able to do when you research my descriptions, okay, that might help you conclude that if what they did at Starbucks, which I'll talk to you about in a second, you can ask yourself, did they do it on purpose? And you'll understand what I mean by this here in a second. Now, 2 visits ago, when I went to Starbucks in La Jolla, California, located on La Jolla Village Square Drive, it originally had about 7 seats in there. One is 7 tables, so you can sit down at them. And one was dedicated to a table that was situated in the very center of the room. That was a big table. Then it had another big table that was leaned up against the window of the location. Then it's got 4 tables that are positioned in a row. And if you want to sit at any one of those 4 tables, you end up sitting in a booth that runs directly horizontal to the tables. So basically the tables are pushed in front of a long booth that you can sit at. And then there was originally also another table that was right by the bathroom, about 7-8 feet away from the bathroom. Now, that was actually the table that I had sat at for over a year and a half when I went to Starbucks, and sat at that table when that table was available, in reference to no one sitting at it when I got there. And I like to sit at that table because it kind of separated me from having to sit directly next to anybody that they could bring in to engage in gang stalking harassment that would be sitting right next to me. Okay, so I was using that table for about a year and a half. And then one day when I went in there, all of a sudden, the outlet had been covered up, okay, with one of those things that you might cover up an outlet with, that you can buy at like a Home Depot. It's a plastic shield that was screwed in, and then once that gets put on, you can no longer even see the outlet. It's no longer there, okay? And so when I noticed that, I said, okay, you know, now I got to sit closer to all these, to anybody that comes in that might then be used to engage in gang stalking, verbal harassment that I endure. Okay, and so what I then started doing was using the big table that was directly next to the window, because that table is a table that is by itself. In fact, let me correct myself. There's actually 9 tables in there, because there's another table, a small table, that's directly across from the big table that's up against the window. Okay, but that table has no outlet. At least that's what I've been told. So after the outlet plate had been put on the outlet itself of the table that was right by the bathroom that I had been utilizing for over a year and a half, I then started using the table that was right directly next to the window. It's a big table. You'll see it immediately when you walk in there. Okay, I'm referring to the Starbucks off of Villa La Jolla Square Drive in La Jolla, California. Hold on a second. Now, so let me prop this up so I can put my sweatshirt on. Okay, so I started then using the table that's, if you went into this Starbucks, hold on a second, because I don't want to accidentally bump this too badly. I'm just going to set this up so I can set it down, so I can put on this sweatshirt here real fast. Hold on. So if you were to go into that Starbucks and walk right through the door, the table is literally right there. Okay? So I started using that table, and because its outlet was positioned on the wall, that was kind of like just a very small segment of the way. See, when you got say you got the window here. Okay, so say you got the window here. Okay, and then the table is right here, and then you got this little itty bitty wall that goes right here that's got an outlet on it, and then and then the wall kind of goes this way, it curvatures this way, so then another and then another portion of the wall is here, and then the booths are right in front of that wall. Okay, so it's just this little cubby thing that allows you to plug in your computer or whatever in the outlet that's on that little cubby hole space of that wall that's right next to the table. You'll understand if you were to go in there and look at it. Okay, even though it's covered up now. Hear me out. So, I then started utilizing that table for about 9 months after they had covered up the first outlet. And so when I went in there 2 days ago and got out and put everything down on that table, and then walked up to order some coffee and then walked back to the table, I noticed that they had put a shield on that outlet. Now that is literally forcing me to sit now at the booth, where massive things can occur. They can, when I go outside to have a cigarette, I can't keep a visual eye on my property because the intentionally propped up assholes that they prop up outside will intentionally start complaining about your smoking. Now that's actually done to get you to walk further away from the window in order to make you concerned about, are they damaging my property, are they stealing it? Because gang stalking will anchor any type of fear in your mind based on past experiences. Okay? Absolutely. A huge method of gang stalking is intentional anchoring, where they will say if you go outside to have a cigarette or go to the bathroom, you come back out and you go to unplug your computers after you continue to use them for a little while, and then you go to unplug your computers and you notice that your computer cord looks like it's been screwed around with and almost spliced in half. Okay, well, they know you're going to notice that. In fact, even when you're noticing it, gang stalk will be set around me. Absolutely. So you can go to YouTube search box, and at YouTube search box, you can say, you can type in at YouTube search box, M as in Mary, MTS, gang stalk, oh my God, suck my DSCK. Now, they've been getting around me along all my routes for the past 5-7 years, repeating, they've been repeating different things since August 8, 2011, the day I arrived in San Diego from Connecticut. For the past 5 to 7 years, they've been saying, gang stalk, oh my God, gang stalk, oh my God, why don't you come and steal her stuff, gang stalk, oh my God, like if I'm in a wooded area, gang stalk, oh my God, why don't you call the cops on her, gang stalk, oh my God, suck dick, gang stalk, oh my God, suck my DSCK, gang stalk, oh my God, we're crazy. And they're also saying another word that's got the initials HC in reverse. That's just a code I use for that, and I'll expose that over time. So, because they want you to know as you're seeing something that they did covertly, they want you to know it's because of gang stalking by and through saying gang stalking as you're noticing it. Because they're making that correlation, that mental inference, okay, to anchor it in your mind so you'll know it. Even though they already know the victim knows it. Okay, but this is just, alright, hold on a second. This is just like their way to kind of like add salt to the wound. Okay, because oh my God, you would not believe what is involved in the organized stalking, gang stalking of gang stalking targets. Because at the end of the day, it is becoming extremely obvious that what Brian 2 has exposed on the internet is completely true. And I can't go into all that in this particular video. I don't agree with his analogy that listening to music helps. I think listening to music is very dangerous if you're a gang stalking victim who's enduring remote neural monitoring. I'll tell you why. Now, he might be right, but I definitely could be wrong. I pray I'm not giving the wrong information out there, because trust me when I say, I know that perpetrators do that shit, and they're nothing but a bunch of sadistic demonic maggots, okay, the ones who are hosting this. Okay, but hear me out. If you're experiencing remote neural monitoring, if you're a gang stalking victim, they're gaining the neurological access through the right brain hemisphere, which is your unconscious awareness. That's why you can't perceive it accessing you when it does. Well, when you listen to music, whether it's got lyrics or not, music is a melody, and the right brain processes melody. So if you're listening to music while they're trying to excite a response so remote neural monitoring can latch onto you, I don't know if that's assisting in them doing it, because when you're listening to music, you're in right brain mode. Okay? So that's something for you to consider. I could be wrong, okay? Meaning that I don't know if music is making it a little easier for them to gain the neurological access as a result of you being in the right brain hemisphere when you're listening to music. But there's an extreme probability it wouldn't matter too much anyways, because if you're a gang stalking victim and you're out and about in the community, they're already propping up things around you concerning you for you to notice. And when anything is propped up around you for you that they know you'll notice to be connected to this crime, they already know that you're going to notice it, but you're noticing it through your right brain, because your right brain is the hemisphere of the brain that is responsible for scrutinizing what's going on around you in your environment. Okay? For a threat assessment. It's an innate, hardwired function. You have no control over it. Okay, like if you're sitting at a beach and you're reading a book, you can be reading the book with your left brain while your right brain is unconsciously paying attention to what's going on around you. Okay, for threat assessment. And you better believe gang stalking psychiatrists, the ones who developed this campaign, knows it. Okay? Absolutely. A lot of victims will say, well, they're propping up around me so they can engage in the harassment and then take off without a direct confrontation to the victim. That's an additional motive for it as well. Absolutely. But think about what I'm saying. Just go to Google and at Google, type in at Google search box, right brain functions, environment awareness, and you'll see it. Absolutely, as well as music and melody being a right brain function. So, so that's why they're basically getting around the victim and repeating things they know the victim's going to notice. Okay, uh, okay. So, and so the video. Alright, so what was I saying before that? Hold on a second, because I do not feel good. I am sick as a dog. Oh my god, flat out. I'm being attacked right now in both right and left ears. I can barely hear out of them as of right now. I can literally barely hear out of them. This started as soon as I got to a specific wooded area yesterday afternoon. Okay? I also got hit with direct energy weapons at least 13 times last night. Okay. Now, they know that the mixture between the directed energy weapon health attacks and the ultrasonic sound bone conduction technology attacks is going to cause you to feel, you know, in an overall way, sick as hell. Your head's swimming, you feel like, and this technology actually induces concussions as well. Absolutely. Okay? Trauma. Okay, trauma and to target your health and to eventually affect health maladies that can even be terminal, like cancer. So research all my descriptions. Okay, these people are sadistic murderers. That's all they are. It's all they'll ever be. There ain't no sense in continuing to talk about their psychotic asses any longer. Let me get back to this video. So, one of the things that Brian 2 exposes in this video, if I was talking about something and forgot to finish it. Well, for one, I'm very sick right now, and for two, I'm trying to keep an eye on my late lunch here. Now, one of the things that Brian 2 discusses and discloses in his YouTube videos, one of them being in the title of this Periscope video, is he's talking about choice reference patterning, and where the perpetrators are forcing you to make certain mental choices, which are basically choice reference pattern responses. You endure the tireless, cyclic, perpetual repetition of this crime, where they not only continually harass you through the same exact identified methods, but then how they will add new ones onto them. Because they know eventually the brain's going to adapt to those older methods and is going to become more accustomed to ignoring it. So they got to be able to still be able to create that electromagnetic response that remote neural monitoring is latching onto. Okay? And so, now I remember what I was saying. I was talking about the outlet being, a shield being put over it. So, now that the two tables, the only two other tables that are in that Starbucks that were available for you to plug something in it, like your computers, that were outside of the other tables that are all along this one booth, where you're literally forced to sit within even a half inch of a person, okay, have been now shielded over. Now, you can go to Google and you can type in box seating arrangements and gang stalking, okay? Absolutely. Now, box seating arrangements is where this crime will intentionally catalog your habits, routes, routines. Okay, and so, like, say if you're living in your community, you shop at the same grocery store, you go to the same bank, you go to the same laundromat, you go to the same university. Okay, so you pretty much have your regular routes and routines established based on where you live, where you shop, where you go to the library at, and so on and so forth. Well, gang stalking demonic maggots who perpetrate this crime catalog all your routes and routines and habits. Okay, including transportation routes back and forth to these places, including the transportation routes to where you stay up. Okay? So what they do is they catalog all this stuff, and then through the in-time continue tracking of you every day, they can see where you're at in real time. They can see when you have left that place that you've been at, and what direction you're going to. They will also catalog your public transportation routes and routines. Well, you know, if the victim gets on the bus at this particular bus stop, and 98% of the time they always get off at this bus stop, then there's an extreme probability that's going to be repeated the next time she goes out. Okay, and then when she gets off at that bus stop, where does she usually go? If 98% of the time she goes to Starbucks, then they're going to deliberate that that's where she's headed, and that's where they will then bring people to already be in the Starbucks before you arrive, and that is done. So is that done? So then, remember, this is a hypothetical situation. So if I say that's done, that's you know, part of the hypothetical, okay, scenario here. So what they'll then do is prop up enough people to be in there to where all the seats are taken. They know you're going to have to wait for an outlet. They already know all that. So they know you'll just sit down, and then what they'll do, even for the sake of their own video cameras on their ceiling, is they'll let one of the demonic maggots that they told to come in there and sit down, they'll notify them through their phone or computer, hey, it's time to get up. Okay? So she can sit down. And the reason why that is because they want that victim to be able to sit in that seat, so the victim can then be forced to sit next to people that come and go all day that are brought in intentionally, to sit right next to the victim, so the victim is then forced to hear what they say directly next to them. While the people that come in and sit at the table that's in front of the victim now, which is the table the victim usually used, are brought in to have them engage in either repeated dialogue and or repeated wild physical gestures, where they're always constantly moving their arms and hands out in front of them while they're trying to make it appear that they're just having some kind of conversation. This is done to distract you mentally through, as a result of the victim's peripheral vision and part of their front view vision seeing it. They also know the target is aware that they're doing this on purpose, and so that's going to excite the electromagnetic response that Brian Tew talks about in his videos. Okay, so gang stalking, think about this as well. Gang stalking targets you through your two of the main senses that perpetrators target gang stalking victims through is through the sight and the ears. So do you honestly think, why do you think the sensitization method of gang stalking includes people repeating words, phrases, statements? Okay, why do you think part of the sensitization method is about repeating the same physical gestures? I'm sorry, yeah, well, repeating physical gestures, including repeating same ones, but they can sensitize you to be sensitive to a whole host of different types of physical gestures. Absolutely, okay? So, and you're going to be able to see this when you research what I state. So what they want to do is they want to, if I was still able to use that table, I would be down looking at my computer, and then that would take my direct line of sight view away from people who are coming and going unless I decide to look up. Okay, they were even having people come and sit at the table up against the window that was directly adjacent to my table and have them engage in these physical gestures. So I started letting down the blind that they had recently just added in there on the window. All right, so okay, so then now I'm forced to sit next to people who are an inch away from me, who intentionally talk loud. Okay, and as they're talking, they'll repeat suck dick, gang stalk, suck dick, oh my god, and a bunch of other negative shit. While the people who are then brought in to sit in front of me will constantly be waving their hand and also periodically engaging in these verbal statements as well. And if you honestly think that Starbucks wouldn't edit one of their videos, you're crazy. I mean, then you're not paying attention to what gang stalking victims are enduring. Starbucks will do anything and everything to protect their involvement in this crime, just like the universities and the other businesses and the other places. They'll edit a video, call their victim crazy, okay, and even try to petition the victim into a psychiatric ward. Because when you falsely diagnose somebody with a mental illness, you can say then that all their future statements and past statements came from the mental illness. Google that to gang stalking. Now, so choice reference pattern, so you need to watch as many of Brian Tew's videos so you can see Brian Tew state that the harassment and the continued nonstop repeated harassment, which he even discusses in the video. He says if you're forced to listen to nonstop repeated identical bullshit, that's torture. It's just like the Chinese water torture, and it is. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Okay? Well, every time you notice you being presented with what you've been sensitized to, you're going to have a response because the brain's going to recognize it to be associated to a crime that's happening to you. Okay? So when that electromagnetic response fires, remote neural monitoring latches onto you, and then that's how they're able to, okay, gain a neurological and biological access of you. If you got an ear implant and or a brain-to-computer interface implant, now, I've talked about that in other videos dedicated to this account, so I'm not going to expand on that, except to say that the brain-to-computer interface implant is probably connected, wired in, and to communicate with the ear implant, where the brain-to-computer interface implant is interfacing with the ear implant. And whatever the ear implant hears is also heard in the audio cortex. So the ear implant and the brain-to-computer interface implant can be working together so that the software that is interfacing with the brain-to-computer interface implant can be programmed to where, like, when the ear hears the identical harassment, verbal harassment, the sound processor of the ear implant will send what's heard to the audio cortex. The brain-to-computer interface implant will decipher what's being heard. That implant is interfacing with the remote neural monitoring, which can be programmed to turn on when a specific word phrase is said, by its phonics, by the actual word itself, or by the electromagnetic response that's produced by the brain as a direct result of the brain recognizing the harassment. And that's what Brian 2. So the harassment is the stimuli that Brian 2 talks about. I gotta go. I feel like total shit. I mean, I can tell it's ultrasonic sound bone conduction technology I'm enduring, because I'm always hearing a very low frequency tone in my right ear. It's not tinnitus. Whenever that is turned up and I hear it louder, I get sick. Now, it is marginally, I'd say it's at least 5 times louder right now than what it normally is. Okay? And my head swimming like you wouldn't believe. I feel my jaws tightening. Okay? And I don't know how to explain concerning how it feels. And now they're also attacking the left ear as the right ear is being attacked. And I'm being hit with direct energy weapons, and I'm not afraid to say it. Tens of thousands of victims of this crime are all over the internet exposing they're being hit with these technologies, absolutely. And this crime has also been covered massively on national radio shows, including ones I've been on. Okay, so you gotta always remember, a lying, demonic, criminally insane government that would do this to you, and including buying through as well, contracting this sick, demonic, sick torture and non-consensual human experimentation out to other individuals who do it on the behalf of the government. They don't give two shits about what they're doing to you. They know exactly what they're doing to you, because this crime, especially when it comes to this technology and the community-based harassment, is 100% completely specific. These are unique crimes perpetrated in a specific way to produce a specific effect and result. And the only way that you can produce these specific effects and results is to know how to marginally, measurably use the technology. If we turn it up this much, it'll affect her this much. If we turn it up this much, it will really affect her. And how long it will affect her for. Why is it that when I enter wooded area properties, I'm immediately hit with this technology? Immediately. Okay? Well, if they can make you sick for 2 days, you're not going to get no work done. Absolutely. 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 These people are nothing but sadistic murderers, because this technology is murdering people. They're murderers. They're torturers, and they're murderers, and they're human traffickers. It's all they are. It's all they'll ever be. They're never going to be anything but what they are, and they protect themselves in part by calling the victim mentally ill when the victim exposes what they're factually enduring. I'm not afraid of you. You know, you want to go ahead and use any falsified documentation about me that your organized crime syndicate members accumulated in other states concerning me, go for it. Because as long as I live and as long as I'm able to walk, talk, and breathe, I will target you eventually illegally. Eventually legally, I will. Make no mistake about it. Okay? I'm going to get these demonic bastards outside of the wall they're hiding behind, you know, before I die. It's all I care about. Okay, that, my relationship with God, and the protection of my fellow gang-stalking victims and the American public, and the human family. Absolutely. Okay? So, I gotta let you go, because I gotta eat, and then I gotta lay down and rest. And last night was extremely cold, and I didn't have enough clothes immediately with me to deal with that. I was warm enough to sleep in a healthy manner, yes, but I was still a little bit cold, and when I woke up this morning, I was freezing. And so, you know, that didn't assist in, you know... This crime is it's so demonic, the things that these people are doing. And check this out, when I moved to this spot, I didn't experience any directed energy weapons for the first 2 nights. The third morning I did. So that tells me that if they need any in-between, go-between antennas that researchers and scientists are reporting that is needed to assist in the perpetration of these technologies, then they came and did it after I left the property. Okay, in the morning of the third morning. Okay? Because I started experiencing the directed energy weapons that morning, and then started slowly experiencing it that afternoon, that night, and then had been experiencing it on an escalating scale ever since. Absolutely. And check this out. You see this vegetation right here? Some of it's been removed. When I first started utilizing this spot, it was a lot thicker. Well, they left this up here. If they came down here and removed it, which I believe they did because they did it at a different area as well, that was totally obvious. See, vegetation interferes with microwaves. Okay, so does rain. Okay, and it's been raining a lot lately. Okay, well, it's not been raining a lot, but it's been raining. We've had a lot of projected rain, and it rained the last 2 days here in San Diego. Not heavy or nothing, just like sprinkles and kind of continued, rain spills, but like not no heavy rain. Like I think something like 1/10 of an inch, but it was enough. It was significant. But the point being is that when I first started utilizing this spot, I could barely see through these bushes. Now look how well you can see through them. Okay, I could barely see through them, and a bunch of foliage has been taken away from the spot that's directly past this thing that I'm utilizing to keep the wind and sun off me. So I can't really show it to you right now, but I'll show you in an upcoming video. That's been totally practically bare now, and when I'm laying down and my head is right here, I hear sounds over here. Okay, so are they coming on the property? Okay, and standing right over there and hitting me in an angular function? I don't know, but I do know though that some of the directional hits that I've been hitting, that I've been experiencing, appear to be to where they've been coming off the property and across the street on the hill and the hill behind me. Okay, I gotta go. I feel like total shit. I gotta go. Everybody, thank you for listening. Have a great day. I literally gotta go. I'll talk to you later.